Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome you to this extraordinary council meeting of Tuesday, the 25th of March, 2025 at the Euroa Community Conference Centre. I'm Claire Hewitt-Kennedy, Mayor of Strathbogie Shire Council, and I will be chairing today's extraordinary meeting. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of places we live, work and play. We recognise and respect the enduring relationship they have with their lands and waters, and we pay respects to the elders past, present and emerging. Today we are meeting on the lands of the Taungurung peoples of the Eastern Kulin Nation, whose sovereignty has never been ceded. This public meeting is being streamed live via our website, Council Meetings and Minutes, Strathbogie Shire, and made available for public access on our website, along with the official minutes of this meeting. All care is taken to maintain your privacy. However, as a visitor in the public gallery, it is assumed that your consent is given in the event that your image is broadcast to the public. It is also assumed that your consent is given to the use and disclosure of any information that you share at the meeting, including personal or sensitive information, to any person who accesses those recordings or minutes. Governance principles. Council considers that the recommendations contained in this agenda gives effect to the overarching governance principles stated in section 9-2 of the Local Government Act 2022. These principles are numbered 1 to 9 on page 4 and 5 of the agenda. Voting. If a meeting is open to members of the public or is being live streamed, voting on any matter may be by any method resolved by council that enables those in attendance and those watching a live stream broadcast to clearly see which way a council has voted at the time the vote is taken. In the absence of the council resolving an alternative method, voting on any matter is by a show of hands. An outline of how the meeting will work today. We welcome the people in our public gallery and also those viewing this meeting through our live stream via our website. This meeting is being held in accordance with Strathbogie Shire governance rules. If we have technical difficulties during today's meeting, which means we are unable to stream the proceedings to the public, we will continue with the meeting given the public gallery is open. If a councillor or officer has a conflict of interest in a matter, they will be asked to leave the meeting and no discussion on the matter will commence until we are sure they have done so. The person will then be contacted to rejoin the meeting after the matter has been considered and the vote concluded. The public gallery is reminded that as this is a public meeting, we respectfully ask that all attendees remain quiet and courteous during the meeting. Apologies and leave of absence. Are there any apologies or leaves of absence for today's meeting? Councillor Jeffrey is an apology. And Councillor Halsell is joining us remotely and is on the screen. Point 6, disclosure of conflicts of interest. Councillors, I will take all papers as being read. That being the case, are there any disclosures of conflicts of interest?
No, Mayor, but I just thought we might note that the monitor has chosen to step out of the room because of her choice to do so in this process.
Take as noted. Thank you, Councillor Binks. We now move to the item 7, confidential business. Chief Executive Officer recruitment. I declare the following item, Chief Executive Officer recruitment, to be confidential in accordance with section 66-2A and Part 1, Section 3, definitions of the Local Government Act 2022. Personal information being information which, if released, would result in the unreasonable disclosure of information about any person or their personal affairs. This ground has been applied to this matter as it relates to the Chief Executive Officer recruitment, and I have authorised a confidential business certificate, which is also an attachment to today's agenda. Councillors, we now require a motion to close the meeting to the public. Councillors, we have a recommendation on page 6 of the agenda. Can I have a motion, please, and state what your motion is? Councillor Carson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My motion reads as follows: that Council, in conformance with section 62 brackets 2 brackets A and the definitions for confidential matters under Part 1, Section 3, definitions of the Local Government Act 2020, the Act in brackets, resolved to close the meeting to the public to discuss Chief Executive Officer recruitment.
Thank you, Councillor Carson. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Holloway. Thank you, councillors. Would anyone like to speak to the motion? Thank you, councillors. I am now going to put the motion to vote. Those in favour? Motion is carried. I would now ask the relevant staff and the public to please leave the chamber, and could the live streaming please cease? Thank you. Item 7.3, confirmation of confidential business decisions. Councillors, there is a recommendation on page 6 of the agenda. The purpose of that recommendation is to ratify the decisions made by council in camera. Councillors, can I have a motion, please, and can you state what your motion is? Councillor Vickers.
Thank you, Mayor Hewitt-Kennedy. I'd like to move a motion that the decisions made in camera are ratified by council.
Thank you, councillors. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Holloway. Would any councillor like to speak to the motion? No. Thank you, councillors. I will now put the motion to vote. Those in favour? The motion is carried. The minutes of this meeting, following a highly competitive recruitment process, an announcement will be made shortly on the appointment of the permanent Chief Executive Officer. The next ordinary meeting of the Strathbogie Shire Council is scheduled to be held on the 15th of April 2025 at the Aroa Community Conference Centre, commencing at 4 p.m. There being no further business, the meeting is closed at 10:10 a.m.